JFK is a political thriller directed by Oliver Stone and stars Kevin Costner, Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Oldman. The plot starts on November 22nd, 1963, when President John F. Kennedy is assassinated in Dallas. Lee Harvey Oswald is then arrested for the crime and subsequently shot by Jack Ruby, supposedly avenging the president's death. However, Louisiana District Attorney Jim Garrison is sceptical as he assembles a group of people that he trusts to conclude his own investigation, bringing about a backlash from government and political figures. So, just to give you guys a heads up, there will be spoilers in this review, so that's your warning. In a story that has so much exposition, this movie could have easily descended into a bore fest. But in the hands of Oliver Stone, this never became a problem for me, as the movie moves along at a nice pace, and he always keeps the story interesting, just in terms of cutting back between various characters and situations, as well as using footage from the time period that allow me to be fully engrossed in the story. Jim Garrison is arguably the hero of the story, as he and his investigators are on a crusade to find the personal people responsible for the murder of JFK. At the beginning of the story, we find out that Jim Garrison is truly passionate in his job as District Attorney, and once we learn of JFK's murder, I was fully invested in his character arc, and just as passionate as he was in his pursuit of the killer. The struggles and conflicts that Garrison goes through in the story are only as good as the actor playing the role. And in Kevin Costner, he truly delivers a home run with his performance. Stoicism, heroism, and the search for the truth are all qualities that Costner brilliantly conveys in his performance as Garrison. The other standout performer is Tommy Lee Jones as Clay Shaw / Clay Bertrand. From the first moment when we see Shaw, he comes across as someone who has something to hide and is never fully transparent when he's being interviewed by Garrison as part of the investigation. His character never has any redeeming qualities, despite the honest businessman persona that it gives off to people, as Jones gives a very convincing performance as effectively the villain of the movie. The rest of the cast all provide great support, with Gary Oldman, who completely disappears into his role as Lee Harvey Oswald, Joe Pesci as Dave Ferry, and Sissy Spacek, who has great chemistry alongside Kevin Costner. In a movie that's over 3 hours, JFK could have easily had a ton of pacing issues, but in the capable hands of Oliver Stone, he always ensures that the story is engaging and interesting. One way that Stone achieves this is through the masterful editing, which I'm just going to go out and say is one of the best edited movies of all time, as he often intercuts scenes with the investigators of the case, with several flashback scenes involving key suspects. To go one further, whenever Jim Garrison interviews one of the suspects, Stone really allows the camera to focus in on the suspects to really give you the sense of the danger and the peril that they're in. Despite the historical inaccuracies of this movie, one thing that can't be denied is Stone's ability to convince the audience that the US government were involved in the murder of JFK. From the use of flashbacks showing government officials discussing how they're going to remove Kennedy out of office, to the US Army's involvement, Stone really makes you feel like a fly on the wall, as he allows you to really side with his theories about the investigation. A review of JFK wouldn't be complete, however, without mentioning John Williams' magnificent score. From the first few notes that we hear at the beginning of the movie, it felt like I was thrust back into 1960s America. The title theme, along with the rest of the soundtrack, is appropriately patriotic, heroic, yet tense and menacing when it needs to be during the story's darker moments. So in short, as you've probably guessed, I love JFK, as it's an important and relevant movie that exposes the corruption and truths that are hidden from society, not only in America, but all over the world, as I'm going to give the movie a perfect 10 out of 10. So I'll now hand it over to you guys, as I want to hear whether or not you enjoyed JFK, and do you think this is Oliver Stone's best movie? So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you guys as always for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.